Mighty wrap your hands around my waist and bury your face in it around when you decide. Ain't no denying my soul unless you find. I want you to touch my body, let's get it united. Wrap your hands around my waist and bury your face in it around when you decide. Ain't no denying my soul unless you find.
Welcome to another Pop Your Cherry episode with the Psycho Podcast. I'm your host, Margot Underwood, and these segments are meant to stimulate thought and bring up conversations that aren't normally talked about around the dinner table. Let's jump into it. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about active listening and the kind of skill and commitment that goes behind it. We're not told that it's something that comes with some hard work to it. So today's episode is going to just be a brief overview of what active listening really looks like and how we practice active listening in our own lives. So like I said, it's a skill. It's not something that just comes naturally. There's a clear difference between hearing something and listening to someone. Hearing is an automatic brain response that happens 24/7. Sound waves exist around us at all times, whereas when we're listening to someone, we're going through a detailed process that we don't even know is happening most of the time. So, what are the benefits that come with active listening? One of my favorites is being able to build a community where all perspectives are welcome. And then it also kind of bleeds into the success of our educational, professional and personal lives. We become more independent thinkers. We become more team-oriented, and we're viewed with more respect because we're actually obtaining the information that someone is sending to us. Active listening comes with challenges, such as low concentration, poor judgment or misguided judgment, cultural barriers, gender barriers, and external and internal noise, that all of these things get in the way of us remembering information. And it's important to be aware of these things because if we are more aware of them, we can become more successful in our interactions. And I think that's the whole point here of this episode, is to bring light into how our listening skills can help us succeed in multiple areas of our lives. When we're listening to someone, we're going through multiple different stages of retaining that information. The first one is attending or receiving the information. Then we take that information, we organize it, and try to understand it. The third is responding to someone's information through our own interpretations. The fourth is remembering information and moving information from our short-term memory to our long-term memory, which is an eventual goal. But that doesn't really happen unless we actively take steps to move short-term memory into our long-term memory. Then we have 3 different types of listening that I'm going to identify here: informational listening, empathetic listening, and critical listening. The reason why these are important is because when we step into situations, we can utilize different skills to have a more successful interaction. So informational listening would be used when you're in a classroom setting or a board meeting. Empathetic listening would be when you're listening to a friend who's trying to solve a problem or cope with some type of issue. And then we have critical listening, which happens every day. That's when you're getting hit with advertisements or political campaigns. This is a very crucial type of listening because this is when we're trying to define the credibility of the person who's speaking and sending us a message. We want to take that message and figure out if it's going to be in our best interest to apply it to our lives. So then there's even more. So we've identified the different stages of listening, the different types of listening, and now we're going to identify the different styles of listening, because everyone has a different style of listening. You're either people-oriented, time-oriented, content-oriented, or action-oriented. And if you can identify your own style of listening, then you can find the cracks in your foundation of where you need to improve to be more successful. And then, not only that, you can adapt to other people's style of listening so that whatever message you're trying to send off will be better interpreted. So, my question to you is, how do you practice active listening? What kind of skills do you incorporate when you are trying to show someone that you are committed to the message that they are sending you? Another form of saying active listening is calling it listening from the heart, because we're using all of our senses to absorb someone's information. We're using our body, our body language, eye contact, hand gestures, everything. So this is a part 1 of a 4-part series. This is the overview, and the next Pop Your Cherry episode is going to be on a more in-depth look at the different stages of listening. So I want to thank you guys for listening, and I hope to see y'all next time. Thanks for joining another Pop Your Cherry segment. I really hope that this is some food for thought and that you guys have something to chew on for the rest of the week. Music is Face In It by Fallen for Autumn on Instagram. That's FALLEN FORAUTUMN. Go check her out, give her some love. See you guys next time.
I want you to touch my body, let's get it. Now you wrap your hands around my waist and bury your face in it around while you decide it. No, deny my soul and let's be fine. I want you to touch my body, let's get it. Now you wrap your hands around my waist and bury your face